What's up, y'all? Jamie, that's me here. Welcome back to the channel. Listen, the Bells are back. Belle Collective Season 3, Episode 1 is here, and we definitely got to talk about it because Latrice Rogers pretty much opened up the show, right? So she opened up the show with her and Zaddy. You can see Zaddy sitting here with his grandchildren because, according to Latrice, one of his children has moved back to Mississippi, so they're now living on the property with them. So he's over there spending time with his grandkids. And although Latrice does not like children at all, she says that she's starting to warm up to those children. And I think that she could be imagining what a family would be like between them. But I also feel like Latrice could be thinking, in my opinion, okay, I feel like Latrice could be thinking that if she has a baby, it could fix some of the marital issues that they might have. And I could be wrong when I say that, but that's just something that crossed my mind. Y'all know she loves to refer to her husband Cliff as Zaddy with the Z. Girl, by the end of the episode, it was giving daddy with a big D. Not gonna hold y'all, okay? But let's go ahead and just continue to talk about what they have going on. So, of course, she said her business is doing well. Her marriage doesn't seem to be doing that great, but business is going great for her as it always has, okay? Um, Cliff said something to her about how he married Latrice for love, but he says that it sounded like he was saying if they couldn't have any kids or something, then it was a hoax. So I don't know. But that's kind of what it sounded like he was saying to her. So I'm like, okay, yeah, she might move forward in the direction to have a child to definitely please him. But okay, let's keep going. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't want to please him at the same, like that's your husband. If that's what you guys come to an agreement on, cool. But I really do want her to truly honor how she feels. And I feel like if she'd sit down, look at the good versus the bad, I do question whether or not the bad is going to outweigh the good and whether or not, she should cut her losses and just kind of like move on with somebody that's in the same place that she is. You know what I'm saying? But hey, this is what she wanted. So this is what she's going to get. All right. Now, what we did learn is that Jackson has like a water crisis. And I feel like it's similar to what's been going on in Flint, Michigan. But they have a water crisis right now, and some of her employees are having to deal with that. Some people are getting sick. It's just not good at all. Okay. So some of her employees are dealing with that, but she doesn't live directly in Jackson. So it's not actually affecting her. But although it's affecting all of her employees, she chose to allow only one of the employees to come and actually live with her, right? And that guy's name is Josh. Okay. So Josh is there. He comes into the kitchen at some point, and as soon as he gets in the kitchen, he is laying into Cliff pretty much because Latrice is talking about feeding Cliff or whatever. And, Josh is like, well, why does the woman have to feed the husband? Or like, why does she have to be the one making food for you? And he was like, well, I'm the one that's providing the food, so the least she could do is cook the food. Okay. So Josh does not seem to be a fan of Cliff right out the gate. Girl, he's already questioning Cliff's domineering ways and everything. And I did kind of feel like Josh overstepped his boundaries, you know what I'm saying, when it came to, Latrice's relationship in that moment. Now, because I felt like this, listen, you are you're an employee. In addition to that, you're now a guest in their house and they're doing you a favor. So I do feel like you should mind what it is that you say to people in this house that's looking out for you. So that's where I was kind of feeling when it came to Josh. I was like, oh, he kind of overstepping his boundaries. Like I'm with you, but you overstepping your boundaries. And it's really not a good look because I'm pretty sure the things that you and Latrice talk about in confidence, she might not share that stuff with her husband. So when you come out as aggressive as you do and you're checking him and Latrice don't really necessarily put you in your place or whatever, it is gonna make Cliff feel away, which is why he reacted the way that he did by the end of the episode. But at the same time, I feel like Latrice, you need a real friend that's going to keep it honest with you, and maybe he need to be mindful of doing it in Cliff's face. I don't know, but I was agreeing with Josh majority of this show. Like he gets a first-hand view on what we don't necessarily get. We see things as they play out on TV, but he knows what's really happening behind the scenes. So we kind of see a bit of what he's fully experiencing when he's around y'all. And I was definitely in agreement with Josh. Like, yeah, Josh, mind your mouth, but at the same time, you ain't lying, honey. That's at least that's how I was feeling about it, right? Now, What we did learn after this conversation ceased, because Cliff was like, I'm about to put him out, so let me go ahead and get the hell out before I put him out my house. Let me go ahead and walk away. What we did see was Latrice go into a completely separate room, and that's where Josh ended up following her. And we learned that Latrice and Cliff are not sleeping in the same room at this time. And Josh thinks that she doesn't really put her foot down enough when it comes to him. And Latrice tried to say, no, it's not that. It's just that our communication is off. And I'm like, no, it is that. Okay. It is that. And y'all communication is likely off because you don't put your foot down enough and let your voice be heard. And what kind of kills me is, I'm sure, Cliff has his own money and he does well for himself. It kind of makes me think that she feels like without him, she might not be as successful, or she might not be who she is. And it's like, girl, you was who you was when you came into the relationship with him, weren't you? Like, if it's not gonna work, it's just not going to work. Like, I mean, y'all gonna need some couples therapy if y'all want to stay in it or whatever. And I ain't telling you to walk away from your husband, whatever you want to do to, girl, that's your relationship. But at the same time, I'm just like, girl, do you really need him? Is what I'm over here questioning. Okay. Now, Josh goes on to let her know, like, listen, Cliff is controlling, period. He won't let you go places if he's not there. And I'm sitting over here like, is that so? Girl, again, I'm going to be going back and forth referencing the end of the episode, because that is definitely so. Okay. She says, no, she says, he respects me. I respect him, or whatever. And it just seemed like whatever Josh said, she had a response to it and pushback to it. And I know she was saying the things because she know the cameras are there and Cliff is going to hear and see this, but you over there crying at the same time, right? You over there crying. So just keep it a buck. And she kind of got to that. And I appreciated her kind of getting to that place where she kept it honest, like she was giving him pushback, but she did finally admit that she's not happy in her relationship. And I said, thank God, because I felt like she was going to continue to give excuse after excuse after excuse, to make him feel validated in his actions and how he feels. And I feel like that's the part that sucks, because when he doesn't do you right, you turn around, instead of putting your foot down, you turn around and make him feel and think that how he reacted and how he treats you and how he handles you is okay, because you feel like you are supposed to honor your husband, or whatever the case is. And I just feel like I hear all of that Bible talk that was written by a man, or whoever y'all want it to be written by this speaker next week. But at the end of the day, you also should be honored in that relationship. Period. You bring a lot of stuff to the table just as much as him. So who is he just to have a say so over you that much? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you could respect your spouse, your husband, your wife, or whatever, without there being control. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, it don't have to be that controlling and all of that. We ain't got to do all of that. But anywho, that's what's going on with Latrice. We're going to see more as the episode continues to go on. But who I want to get into now, I want to get into Letitia Pearson and this husband of hers, Glenn. Now, first of all, Letitia Pearson, she's still an enterprise girl, still giving Pearson Enterprises or whatever, girl. And she's still out here forcing these women empowerment events. So, girl, do what you do. Okay, I think she was trying to do a women empowerment tour. So, whatever you want to do, Tisha, if the people gonna buy the tickets, go for it, honey. All right. Now, what we learned is that she and Glenn are still on the rocks or whatever. And Tisha is saying that the reason for this is because he just be doing too much. He was all on social media, responding to people and snapping on folks and saying this and saying that. And she's like, okay, you need to chill out. You need to calm down. Not to mention, we sure he be following her wherever she go. I feel like he did this last season and he probably continues to do this, right? But Glenn, on the other hand, he's just tired of Tisha kind of being wishy-washy with him. You know what I'm saying? It's like, she wants to move forward, but if she don't, he just don't like this whole tug of war thing. You know what I'm saying? That she got going on, right? But I'm like, she waiting for you to grow. Like, when you start showing her stuff, then maybe she'll come back around. You know what I'm saying? But when he mentioned the whole double dutch thing, and he says that she keeps playing double dutch because after the reunion they ended up having sex or whatever, and she made him use a condom, and he had the audacity to say something mess like, oh, I got to use a condom with my own wife. If I got to do that, then I might as well just put $40 on the table, pretty much treat his wife like a prostitute. And I'm just like, excuse me, you sound stupid. What? You just saying some stuff out your arse at this point. You just saying stuff. because you don't even make sense. Okay. Tisha said, honey, $40 couldn't even give me a conversation. And I said, well, girl, I'm sure it would. But I tell you this, it's not even so much as like no prostitute stuff, baby. You should leave more than $40 on the table, period. Okay, for your wife and your child. Okay, ain't even got nothing to do with the SDS. You should leave that on the table anyway. But in all honesty, when he started to talk about the whole double dutch thing, I believe him. I do believe that Tisha does play a lot of double dutch. I'm gonna pick you up, I'm gonna put you down, I'm gonna pick you up, I'm gonna put you down. But honestly, what it's really giving to me, right? Tisha playing this up for the cameras. Her and Glenn are very well together, and I don't care what nobody has to say. Last season, after that reunion, she says that she regrets smashing him. Well, also after that reunion, like probably like a few weeks later, you posted pictures of you and Glenn together all on your page, like y'all had made up, everything was good and stuff. So it's like, Tisha, you and your husband are very well together and never getting a divorce or anything like that. You're using this situation as a drag for a storyline on this season, and I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to take it, because for me, I'm seeing through it. Does that make sense? Like, I can't. She goes and tells him that she wants a home for her and her son, but he's over there like, girl, you're not gonna move my son out my house and into a whole nother house. Like, that's defeating the whole purpose. Like, we need to be together so we can work this thing out. And I understand, let's say this is real. I understand her kind of not really wanting to be there, because this is the problem now. Whenever y'all have issues and y'all in the same house, y'all fall right back into the same old, and y'all don't really get no change or nothing. Right? So if she wants to go, let her go and move into another house, maybe for a year. Maybe that's something she needs to do. Go get your own spot. Get away for a second. And it's so funny to me, because remember when the show first started, he was working on railroads and whatever else he's been working on, right? And we could barely get Glenn on the screen for real, because he worked that much. But now all of a sudden we getting Glenn a whole lot on the show last year and this year. I highly doubt Glenn has quit his railroad job or whatever it was that he was doing. I highly doubt that he has, but I do believe that he is now a part of her storyline for them to get a check. But understand, they are in this together, and it ain't no divorce coming. I just refuse to believe all of this is fake, and they put this together. It's a scheme that they came up with to come to us with and you already know. Okay, it's just really that simple. All right, but anywho, we'll move on, girl. I just wanted to let y'all know that Tisha over there acting for the cameras, honey. But let's keep going. All right. Now let's get to Sophia, also known as SoGucci, honey, and JJ. First of all, JJ is a mess. JJ is a hilarious mess. Y'all know that Sanjay's daddy from Dancing Dolls. And I'm kind of glad they're on the show, because he definitely brings a different entertainment. And although it's because he's making a fool of himself, and I hate to say that he's so entertaining because he's making a fool of himself. I hate to say that, but I mean, he enjoys making people laugh, clearly. So I enjoy laughing, and he is a kiki, okay? Now, what we learn is that he's trying to do some all nice for SoGucci. She works a lot. She ain't really been at the house a whole lot. He's trying to get a bit of her attention. So he cooks for her and do some dessert, and coming out in his robe with no shirt on and all this extra stuff that he doing, girl. He just had me so freaking tickled, okay? But anywho, so once he gets her there and they're sitting down getting ready to eat, she like, okay, what you want? And he tells her that he wants his mom to move in, or at least his mama asked, can she move in? And Miss SoGucci was like, absolutely not. Like, I'm not gonna do your mama. Like, are you crazy? Like, we not doing that. Like, that's dead. And I was with SoGucci, like, no, she can't move in. Sorry. And you know what's funny is that JJ was sitting up there saying how he is enjoying being an empty nester. And I said, how you gonna say you enjoying being an empty nester, but then turn around and say your mama want to move in? And when he showed the pictures of his mama with SoGucci and said how much they get along, again, it gave your mama only want to move into the house so that she can be on the show. And this is how y'all are doing it. And I see what y'all doing, JJ. And here's the gag. I'm really not mad, because I think your family is very entertaining and probably could have a spinoff with your own show, to be honest. Okay. We see that last season, it was your daughters, it was her daughters or her kids Now you're trying to bring your mama into the fold. We already know later on in the season we're gonna get Selena, okay, which is Sanjay Star and Sky's mom from Dancing Dolls. We're gonna get her, and that's gonna be some interaction. Let me tell y'all something. Girl, they trying to get their own little thing. Now, these are the only people that can spin off that I would watch and be entertained, and it just makes me think about when it came down to the Scots on that other show, and how they tried to do a episode with them but the Scots and this and that. And I wasn't really featuring it. Like, I would not watch them solo. They're not that entertaining to me. So I would not be tuning in to them if they did that. But for these individuals, I would. I definitely would. But at this time, SoGucci is not sold on his mama moving in. And I think it was messed up for him to just invite her, or I'm not going to say invite her, but confirm to her that she can move into their home without having that conversation with SoGucci. I would be pissed the hell off, because I don't think SoGucci could tell you whether one of her relatives or somebody can move in, or just tell you, hey, this person's moving in. I don't think you would like that. So I didn't really appreciate that, but I see through, and I see what y'all over there trying to do. So y'all do what y'all do, okay? Now let's go ahead and get to Miss Tamra and Demond, because Tamra's still doing her thing. Y'all know she wanted to be this big multifaceted media woman, and I don't know how that's working out. I don't know if she's continuing to dive into other areas and stuff, but I do know that she's still the midday diva or midday queen on the radio. So she's still working on that. And she says she's been booked and busy. So that's good for her on that. But in addition to her being so busy at work, she now is living with Demond. Demond then came in the house and see her stuff all over the place. And he's like, oh, I would like for the house to look how it looked before you got here. And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, she ain't really got no space for herself, but you done moved her in, so you should expect some changes and things to come. And the house didn't even look junky. You know what I'm saying? It looked like she may have had two jackets hanging on the stairs, and then she was folding up some little clothes, and we know she just pulled that stuff out just to, prepare for the scene, girl, with the little Fendi bag in the back. And it's like, you over there acting like something really different with this house. You just came in so you could have something to say, child. I guess, girl, it definitely was giving a whole theater scene when she was over there folding them clothes and he walked in. I said, girl, if this ain't no Tyler Perry play, but let's keep going, okay? So when he started talking about how, he wished the house looked like it looked before she got there, she said, well, I'm glad you said that, because, I feel like I need my own space. Like, you have your man cave, but I don't have my cave or my place for me to go to. So this is what she says, okay? Instead of them finding a spot in the house or whatever, I mean, maybe the home is only a 3-bedroom, because I would think that it's more than a 2-bedroom, right? Does he have his office in one space and a man cave? Girl, no, he would have to make them 2 in 1, for real, for real. So I would assume y'all got at least 3 bedrooms. So why can't y'all make another room like your space for just you? She suggested to get her a home away from there. She wants a condo loft somewhere away from where the hell he's at. So it kind of gives that he might smother her a little bit. It also gives that he's requiring certain things of her that she's not comfortable with giving, because she knows she's not receiving what it is that she wants in return, right? So when they're over there talking, he starts talking about sex and stuff, because he's like, well, why would you want to move? Why would you want to leave? I mean, is it me? Because I mean, clearly we ain't been having sex. We haven't had sex in like 2 months. Is something wrong with me? And I say, absolutely, something's wrong with you. What's wrong with you is that you convinced this lady to move in with you, knowing that you had no intentions or plans on proposing to her. And Tamra, who's been a woman that's really stuck to her guns on what it is that she wanted, she definitely bent. She bent a lot of things and decided to give in to what it is that you wanted, really. In hoping, okay, messing with you, dealing with you off hope, hoping that you would come around and actually propose to her. She wants to be married. So, like, come on, sir. That's what's wrong with you. Then he gonna sit up there, right? After talking about the SEX and asking if anything's wrong with him, she said something like, well, the person that I moved in with, I thought that, that person would be my husband. Then he starts talking about how he wants her to cook and all this extra stuff. So it's like, wait a minute, sir, slow down. You want her to do all of these wifey things, but you have yet to propose to her. Like, you have to cut it the out. Like, you have to cut it out. Like, what? Then when I don't know what her response was to that, I'm sure it was like maybe a facial expression or a little bit of pushback. Then he decides, in my personal opinion, he goes on to manipulate the situation and says that he just thought that they were moving towards something. Are you dumb? Why are y'all wasting each other's time? You're treating her like this is somebody you've been dating for maybe 2 years. And some people get married sooner than 2 years. But it's like you're treating her like she's a new woman when y'all have known each other since high school and have dated for a long period of time. You likely know more about this woman than any man she has ever dated. And you sitting over here playing in this lady's face. You playing in this lady and she's letting you tap dance and juck and jive or whatever you out there doing, break dancing in her face. She letting you do it. Like, what the hell? You like, what are y'all working towards, sir? Y'all, whatever y'all supposed to have been working towards, y'all should have already worked towards it at this point. At least that's what I'm thinking, because he's acting like this is a new relationship or something. No, it's not. Y'all have known each other for a long time. Like, this ain't that new. Y'all probably have lived together in the past. Like, what are we doing here? So anywho, he goes to, in my personal, manipulate the situation, talk about he thought they was moving towards something. And what happens if we were married? Are you just gonna leave? And she said, no, we just gonna get a bigger house. And I feel like that's gonna give her more of a reason to want to stay, because she knows she's planning for something. So she's gonna make sure that she finds a nice house that has enough space for y'all, maybe even enough space for another child, and likely a finished basement. Girl, a finished basement is so clutch. Okay. Especially, I don't know about in Mississippi. I would want to believe so, but especially here in Georgia. And I don't want to, I've never been in, I'm in no house for real in Mississippi. I've been out there, but I ain't never been in no house or nothing. But I'm sure there are tons of houses that have basements, and those finished basements are clutch because it's like a whole nother apartment down there. So you could have your man cave down there. So it'll seem like you're away, and she can have whatever she has upstairs. So y'all would do a different type of planning and stuff like that. So it's not that she would leave, but she would just definitely create spaces for her. And right now, she's battling herself with giving in for what it is that you want and being there for 2 months, or not 2 months, however long she's been there. You know what I'm saying? She's seeing that the relationship isn't necessarily going in the direction that she wanted and meeting her expectations within a certain time frame that she had for herself. So now I feel like this is her trying to like slowly retract herself from you. So if things don't work out, she already got her condo, she's already good, da da da. It'll be an easy breakup type thing. So that's what I kind of feel like Tamra is going through. Like, she's preparing for an easy breakup with him. And I don't fault her because she wants more. And at this big grown age, I don't think you should sit up there and let nobody play with you. I don't care. I don't care if the D is that amazing. He's a handsome brother, whatever, little gentleman, whatever, girl. Like, don't let nobody sit up there and play with you. Because Tambra, you only getting older. And it's no disrespect to you at all. We can see it in your face. You're only getting older. And it don't mean that you can't have everything. Women are starting to have babies at, later ages and everything. You still can have everything that you want. I just don't think that you should sit up there and let this man waste your time more than what he already has. Okay. So hopefully you can figure that out, girl. We definitely wish you the best of luck on that. But let's go ahead and hop over here. And I want to talk about Akeisha and SoGucci, because they have become closer. They weren't close last season, but during the break, at some point, they got much closer, and they probably got much closer because, one, they were both new to the show at the time. So experiencing the reunion and all of that was new. So they had it was a way for them to bond, I would think. You know what I'm saying? And talk about their experiences, right? And in addition to that, SoGucci is a realtor, a real estate agent or whatnot. And then you have Miss Akeisha that's trying to also secure Ferry Street, which is another form of commercial real estate and stuff. So, they had a few things, I think, that were in common. And speaking of Ferry Street, Akeisha does let us know that she's still working on Ferry Street and that a proposal had been submitted. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. She did say that her partners have the coins, though, to take care of the whole block and not just a building or two. And then she goes on to kind of like shade Letitia as if her partners didn't have the coin. And I'm like, nah, Akeisha, girl, I liked you and I liked you last season, okay? I really liked me some of you last season, but it's the unwanted shots that you throwing at Letitia that don't make sense right now. Like, you ain't have to throw no, like, we all know that Letitia ain't got it, girl. We ain't need you to say nothing about it. All right. It is what it is. Okay. Now, Sophia does come over, and Akeisha says, because first of all, Gucci comes over. They talking about how they never thought they would be friends. Gucci asked her about Tambra, and Akeisha said, "Oh, I can't talk to that I can't even look at her, to be honest with you. She says, because after she acted the way that she acted at the sister invention, she said, I'm done with her. Girl, let me tell y'all, Tamra finna have a very hard season this season because the ladies is definitely finna call her out on her lies. Now, a lot of people last season was saying Tamra wasn't lying about stuff. And, a lot of people wasn't really featuring you, Miss Akeisha. Based on that whole, based on the things Tamra said, and how you portrayed yourself last season, some people felt like you probably did call those ladies ugly and all of this and that. But girl, the way this season going, I don't know, you might slightly redeem yourself with some of those people because they definitely finna come for Tamra and them lies. Yikes, okay? Because according to Akeisha, Tamra lied about her calling those girls ugly, and she lied about wanting her on the show, knowing she really didn't want her on the show, didn't want her in the group chat or none of that. So Tamra was on some other stuff, okay? Definitely on some other stuff, but we'll see. Now, one thing Akeisha did say was that she didn't like how last season Letitia drugged the hell out of Tamra damn near the whole season on different things. But then when you get to the reunion, you want to sit up there and coddle her. But then I learned that you done kind of like flipped on me and turned your back on me, and you over there talking about me and all this or that. Like, girl, that's not cool. So because of those reasons, I can't really rock with you like that. And I agree with Akeisha on that. It's like the person you need, and I'm sure I probably said that last season, the person you need to get that energy to, you're not giving it to. And then you sitting over here acting fake like you really like Akeisha, knowing that you really don't like this lady for real, for real. It was like you was trying to high key, I think, probably keep Akeisha on the outside of the circle and be the liaison between her and the other ladies. And therefore, you could carry whatever narratives or do whatever you want. And in order for her to really be in the group with the girls, it got to be by way of you type thing. Like, some was fishy about that, Miss Tamra, girl. But I think your slip going to be showing, and they probably going to pull that skirt all the way down this season. But we shall see, okay? So, anywho, girl, that's what's going on with Miss Akeisha and SoGucci. But let's go ahead and talk about SoGucci looking for this new home for Letitia. All right. And Marie also shows up. So Letitia she's been looking for this home outside of Glenn. And so Gucci tells her, as she's showing her the home and stuff, decent home, really nice home that she's showing to Letitia, she ends up talking about Latrice. Now, y'all know, so Gucci was over there working on finding a building for Latrice to move to. So Gucci says she looked up and out of nowhere, she learns that Latrice done went and hired a whole new agent and done closed on a whole new building without her. So because of that, so Gucci feels like Latrice stabbed her in the back. And Marie was just like, girl, I told you. Didn't I tell you that BIT is a snake? And I said, it's so interesting that you referred to this lady as a snake because her husband is also going to refer to her as a snake as well. I said, wow. Whew, child, what is this giving, Latrice? So what's going on? Are the people about to look at you differently this season? We shall see. All right. Now, Marie does go on to ask Tisha about whether or not she's been taking that cookie away from Glenn. And Tisha was like, I mean, I had gave him a little bit after the reunion, girl, or whatever, but it didn't sound like she was going to take it all the way from him. Now, I'm a little mixed on this. Like, I feel like take it away, possibly if you want him to do, you know what I'm saying, better, whatever the case is, knowing he can't get it whenever he wanted. But at the same time, I'm like, the cootie swat is your power. So if you want to smash on your husband, smash on your husband. I'd rather you go and smash on him than smash on somebody else. And then he used that against you and all this other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So whenever you want it, you get it. And if you don't, you don't, whatever the case is, you know what I'm saying? Still don't mean he should have that much access to you if you decide you're going to move out the house. But girl, Tisha didn't know how to really answer that question because it's a scheme that they set up to come to us. Now, with this whole Latrice and SoGucci situation, how I'm feeling at this moment when I was watching it, I was kind of thinking to myself, like, I don't know if that's Latrice's fault. I feel like when you work with a real estate agent, like, yeah, it probably would be professional if you notify somebody or whatever. Like, it would be nice if you did that. But at the same time, knowing the industry that you in, it's kind of like, girl, I don't have to stick with you. I could just go to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I could just let me hop and skip and go somewhere. It's like, girl, I ain't gotta go with you. The only difference is y'all are friends. Y'all already knew each other. So I feel like Latrice could have gone to SoGucci and just explained to her, like, hey, I'm trying to move out by this time. Like, what's going on? You're not moving fast enough. I'm afraid if I don't have anything by this date, I'm gonna have to go ahead and move. So I feel like based on the friendship level, Latrice could have at least let her know and given her a heads up that she's likely about to move on to somebody else, right? But on the business side, I'm kind of like, did she really need to tell you? You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna go with somebody else. I know in like commercial real estate, people bid all the time for folks services. Like if let's say a Target got a corporate office and they probably want to go to this building or whatever. Like I don't think one company is going to be the only company that they talking to. Like one real estate company is going to be the only company that they talking to. But at the beginning, I feel like what they do is actually they entertain offers with people. And then once they entertain those offers, I believe that's when I think a contract may go in place where you may exclusively be working with them to find X, Y, and Z. So that's what I'm wondering about, whether or not SoGucci has some type of exclusive contract or something in place for Latrice to only work with her. If not, then it's kind of like she could have went to whoever the hell she wanted to go to. So we shall see, girl. I don't know what kind of paperwork they signed or whatever. But speaking of Latrice, let's talk about her because she's back over at her store, right? And she only has half of a store because she had to give one side of the store up. And she said the owner had already leased that part out. But girl, it still got your name on there. So when did it get leased out and when are they going to be occupying that space? Because it still got your name on there, even though you ain't using it side. What it's really giving, in all honesty, Latrice, it's given that you're not selling that many product. Okay, come on, Cardi B. It's not giving that many numbers. Like it's not selling that much product. So you needed to give that side back so that you could save on a coin, as so many other people are doing in this pandemic, okay? Or not this pandemic, but now this recession, okay? That's what it sounds like. So what we hear her say is that she was expecting to be in a new building because SoGucci made it seem like they were good on the location that they were going to get. But then she learned that it fell through. But Josh said something that was interesting to me because Josh said that Latrice was so eager to move. That's what he said. So yes, I do think when I hear that, Latrice was a bit more anxious, and who knows when she closed on something, like SoGucci could have probably just showed her a property last week or something, and then in a week or two she done closed on a whole different one with somebody else. So that is a bit shady depending on the timeline of how everything happened. But Josh definitely said something that was key, which is the fact that you were so eager, and given how a lot of these buildings have been closing down or giving back some of their space to the owners because they don't want to pay for that now that they can renegotiate their lease and all this other stuff. That's what it sounded like you did. But you're trying to make it seem like you was ready to be out by a certain time. And it's like high key, you was eager to get out, but you also it's giving you couldn't pay for the other side, the space next door. And not that you couldn't, but who wouldn't want to keep some of their money? Who wouldn't want to scale back and keep some of their money and still be able to push out the same product or whatever? So I don't know, Latrice. I want to have your back, but I feel like I'm going to have to sit back and just watch this situation and how it plays out a little bit more. Okay. Now, according to Latrice, she says that she wasn't the one that was eager, but she says that SoGucci was the one that wasn't moving fast enough for her. So because she wasn't moving fast enough for her, she decided to make a business decision to move with somebody else, right? And then Latrice goes on in the confessional and says that she doesn't sit around and wait. And I said, well, that is so interesting for you to say, because you definitely sit around and wait on that husband of yours. Yikes, okay? Yikes, girl. That's what you do. All right. Now, Latrice and Josh, they over there talking about his role as an employee because he's trying to figure out where he's going to be in the new building. And she says, well, you need to figure out whether you're going to be a makeup artist or whether you're going to be with Goddess Links. Like, you need to figure out what you're going to do. So then she speaks on him not respecting her home, or respecting her husband. And Josh is confused because he says that Latrice is so flip floppy. And I said, let me tell y'all something. y'all were not ready for Josh, baby. Okay. And I'm liking Josh. Y'all was not ready for this man because he's, to me personally, he's not doing the most. Like some people want to be loud and all extra and this and that. Like to me, it appears like Josh is genuinely being himself. He's just a person that is he's just very outspoken. Maybe he could censor himself at times, but he's just a outspoken person. Like, this is what it is, yada yada yada. Okay. And I like that about him at this time. Okay. He says that that Latrice is flip-floppy, that she likes to act like she's team daddy whenever she's in team daddy space. Okay. But then when she's not with him, she comes to Josh and complains about him behind his back. And I'm with you, Josh, because it's like, what you want your friend to do? Your friend want to be there and support you and have your back and this and that. But like, this ain't good. Like, I know deep down inside that you're really, really not happy. But I mean, it is difficult because it is like, if you're gonna be in a house, I don't think you should come at that man like that. If you're gonna be in his house and he looking out for you and you have a place to stay, X, Y, Z, ABC. You know what I'm saying? And then you also got to read the room when it comes to your friend and what your friend wants you to say versus what she don't want you to say. Maybe she tells you that so that you can say the things that she'll never say to Cliff. Maybe that's what it is. But I mean, I just kind of feel like you making it stressful for her and her relationship because you being too outspoken about some things. But it's a complicated, role, because I mean, you care about your friend and you want her to be happy at the end of the day. But girl, the way he was reading the hell out of Cliff, talking about how that man was sloppy and all this other stuff, and Latrice really couldn't say too much. But no, he not. My man looks good. And then over there laughing and stuff. Latrice is not happy with Cliff. Latrice puts on a front, and I do not care what anyone says. Okay. She even said that she puts on a front when they were outside in the next scene that we're going to get to, when he pretty much tried to snatch her up. And she says, I know people look up to me, whatever, whatever. So I have to, put on a face or whatever. Basically, I got to fake for the cameras. I got to front for the people watching. So that's what it gives. That lady's not happy, but she got to always make it seem like she's in that happy space. Girl, that man is in her head mentally. Y'all know she did not have her dad. He definitely takes that role of her dad. Girl, didn't he do a whole birthday thing for her last year and then ruined it at the same time? Or either she did something for him and then he ruined it with how he talked to her, and it only gets worse because we're seeing more on camera. And you sitting over there after this episode putting a video up of you and him on your page trying to prove to us, girl, you can't convince us. You're convincing yourself that y'all are good and that that's your man and you're gonna stick beside him. Then stick beside him, girl. Stick beside him. Just don't be coming over here crying and whining, honey. Do your thing, child. Girl, this is a mess. I wonder when they show that doggone ultrasound, if that's gonna be Tamra, somebody else's child or friend, or if it's gonna be Latrice. And I'm hoping that it's not gonna be her. But let's keep going. So Josh says that he tells Latrice, like, I know why y'all want me out the house. Y'all want me out that house because y'all don't want nobody to know what's really happening in their relationship behind them walls. And I said, Josh might overstep his boundaries just a little bit, but Josh is not lying. Do you hear me? Josh is not going to play with y'all. He's not going to play. I said, come on, Josh. I said, let's just keep things honest here. Okay? Let's just keep things honest here. He's not lying. That's exactly why they want you out the house, because they don't want you running and telling nobody else or telling production or anything what's going on in their house. But guess what, Cliff? We don't need to be in the house to know what the hell going on, because the way you pulled up on your wife, the way you pulled up on your wife over there at the M bar, honey, yeah, that was a problem. So Latrice went to the M bar with one of her good friends, and Cliff decided he was gonna pull up and pretty much snatch Latrice out. Okay, nah, we need to go talk. No, what you doing? Nah, we need to go have a conversation. Come on, you need to go ahead and get on mic. I don't care nothing about it. Get on mic. Get over here. We need to talk. We need to have a conversation. So whatever you need to do to make that happen, you need to make that happen. Okay. So then I just feel like he was treating her like a kid. She was so embarrassed. Do you hear me? She was so embarrassed embarrassed. But at the same time, her friend was sitting there like, girl, this is they always do, girl. So I'm gonna let her do her thing, girl. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing that I haven't seen before. Yada, yada, yada. The only difference was that the cameras were there. So Latrice was trying to, put on whatever front, like everything is normal and okay as she could. Because I feel like if he would have did that, and it was the first time he did that with, and her friend was there, I feel like a friend would have been like, she coming, you ain't got to talk to her like that, da 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 da. But since the friend didn't react as I was probably expecting her to, it's giving he's done this before. All right. So he tells her he wants her to get on mic, then tells her something like, I ain't tell you that you ain't tell me that you was coming to the M bar. You ain't even supposed to be in the M bar. I ain't in the M bar or something like that. I said, girl, what is he saying? What? So she can't go somewhere because you're not there? That is weirdo stuff. I do not care. Like, that is controlling. That is no, ma'am. That's just, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Okay. He over there talking to her like, who all supposed to be here? She said, it's just me, Mandy, and Josh or whatever. He says, what y'all gonna do? Y'all up here talking about me? And it's like, where did you get that from? So either you were watching them on the cameras at her job and you were overhearing Josh talk about you, or were you overhearing Josh talk about you in your own house when they were in the room together, or what? Because now that the cameras are there, you're so worried about your image and what people are saying about you. And the sad part is that whatever they're saying, you're only adding value to it based on how you're acting. Based on how you're acting, I believe everything Josh said, because you showing your ass in this moment, right? He's over there talking about something. Y'all want to talk about me? And she's like, what? Don't nobody want to talk? What are you talking about? Like, ain't nobody even talking. Like, why would we need to talk about you? Then he over there pretty much accusing her of lying and everything, girl. Like, it was a whole mess. So Latrice is over there saying in the confessional how much she loves him, but he treats her like a child, and then says he looks at her like she's his daughter. And I say, yeah, it's giving daddy with the big D is what it's giving, because it's not giving zaddy. Why would you want somebody to treat you like that? Then he grabbing her arm, trying to push her on, like, where's the, you got your mic on, yes or no? She said yes. So he taking the mic off her, and she's like, don't tear these people mic up either. He takes it, throw it on the ground, not caring nothing about that. Excuse me, not caring nothing about that. Saying something like he's going to ain't nobody gonna be filming nothing. Da 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 da. You ain't gonna film if I don't film, or whatever it was. He was just saying a lot of flawed stuff to her. I just feel like Liz, she is tired of him, but she's used to him treating her in this manner. And she's also used to him, quote unquote, providing a certain lifestyle for her. So she deals. And she also has to keep up a front in front of the people in the city. You know why? Because so many people told her that it was not going to work. And Latrice is in her stage, and she's in this place where she's trying to force people to see that it is going to work. She's in her I'm going to prove them wrong phase. And it's like, girl, I won't be worried about proving us wrong, or the people in your community. I wouldn't worry about that, girl. Okay, you need to worry about your own sanity, not caring about what them folks think, and elevate for yourself if this is not it for you. That's just what I think. Okay. I feel like Cliff does this all the time because he was just too comfortable with how he was going about embarrassing her in front of her friends, storming into M Bar, grabbing her out there, trying to grab her arm and push on her. And she's like snatching her arm back, saying, you need to calm the down. You need to calm the down. Okay. So then they walk on over. Latrice is trying to act like ain't nothing going on, because clearly it's a car with their headlights on. So she know people outside, production, everybody. Shout out to production, because although the mics was off, baby, they still was close enough to make out what all they was saying, baby. And I was definitely here for it. So he walking up over there, going off on her. He done called her a snake and everything. Do you hear what I say? Talking down to his wife like a mother. He says, Cliff says that he doesn't control her. This is what he says in the confessional. He says he doesn't control her, but he controls what happens in the marriage. And I'm like, if you control what happens in the marriage, then you're also controlling her, period. And what's about to happen is you're about to run her out the marriage in enough time. And I hope that she sees this episode and just this season in general and starts to have a change of thought. And I don't even want to hear any conversations about, oh, reality TV breaks up, marriages. No, Latrice, baby, if your marriage does not survive while you're on this television show, it's because y'all already had issues. And this just put a microscope on it so the entire world can really see what's going on between y'all. But this right here, girl, This is not it. Not him standing over there cussing you out and telling you you better get Josh in check and all this other stuff. And if they don't mean you know well or mean me know well, they don't need to be around you and this and that and calling you a snake and saying this and that and da 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 da. Oh, hell no. Girl, she's standing on the side of that car like she just got caught. Hey, like she snuck out the house for one, like a 16, 15, 13-year-old that snuck out the house, went down to one of the local clubs, hanging out with her little friends. Daddy had to run in there and snatch her and stuff. And she over there scared because she don't know if daddy gonna whoop her in the parking lot or if she gonna be on punishment when she get home. Like she don't know what the hell. Like, look at that. Like, girl, I cannot. And she over there sipping on that drink, holding her hands up to her face to hide the embarrassment. But girl, we know you embarrassed, and I hate that for you because you shouldn't have had to deal with that at all. But I just wanted to come to y'all real quick, give y'all my review on Belle Collective. It was definitely a good episode in my book. Hope that you all enjoyed it just as well. Definitely go ahead and hop down in the comments and let me know your thoughts, especially about Latrice and this Cliff situation. Let me know if you could see through Letitia and her husband as well, Glenn. And also let me know your thoughts about Tamra and Demond and how she should go about handling that situation overall. You know what I'm saying? But that's all that I got, honey. I'm Jamie. That's me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share my videos. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Jamie. That's me. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.